Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Empowering Minds. I'm Rehan Allahwala, Head of Interview Department, Rehan School, and host of Empowering Minds. I hope you are in better condition of your health. I'm here at this time of the night with Kurt Krueger. He is Peacemaker Circles Network, and I'll read more about his introduction to you so you get to know better about him. He's founder at Peacemaker Circles and Network. He's founding member at the Peace Lab. He's compiler, creator, collaborator of Going Beyond Your Beyond YouTube channel and president at Success Systems International. And he's from Los Angeles, so we would get to know a little bit about Los Angeles too from his perspective. So let's start this conversation and let's welcome Kurt Krueger. Hello, Kurt. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I'd like to greet you properly and say Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much, Kurt. Thank you
It
so
is,
much.
it
And
is a
welcome
pleasure.
to Empowering Minds. And thank you that you have given your precious time and show your presence at Empowering Minds.
Well, we are here to serve Allah, and any way that I can uplift humanity, that's what I'm here for. I've been an educator all my life, from 18-month-olds to 85-year-olds. And I've done it at universities in America and in India, in the UK at the Oxford Medical School, and I've given programs, taught at Stockholm University, and so on. I've been gifted so much, so I get to give back. And I am blessed to live in an amazing place that I keep coming back to. I've lived in India, I've lived in Sweden, I've lived in South Africa a little bit, in Australia, but I keep coming back here. I've been lived in other places in America too, but San Fernando Valley is my home place. I live about 3 miles from where I was raised. I overlook the San Fernando Valley, and if I look back to the east of me toward Mecca, I would be able to see a 6,000-foot mountain.
Wow.
And that's less than half an hour, 40 minutes away, in regard to driving a bit. Uh, I have the ocean 25 miles away from me because I used to ride my bike to the ocean, and I would be playing beach volleyball. I would be surfing and chatting up the beautiful ladies, and ride my bike back. And that was what I did during the summer, surfing a bit, when I lost on the court. Uh, but otherwise, it's been a magical place. The surf is here. The desert is half an hour away. Uh, there's rock climbing nearby. There's Yosemite National Park, which is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Uh, and we've had bears on our doorstep and raccoons in our trees and all kinds of other wild animals around. So I'm at the edge of civilization as well as the wilderness. And Allah bless me very much. So I get to see what I can do to help others.
Mashallah. Brilliant. So, Kurt, the talk we are going to do is about more about peace, right? The peace and how we can make this happen. So, first, my question would be, what is your vision of peace for our world?
Oh my goodness, that's a real beautiful one. Well, because I believe total peace is possible, I'm called to be peace in a way that excites in others their vision of peace, uniting us in the peaceful force for creating peace in everything, everything with peace. That's the mantra of the peacemaker circles. We have a peacemaker meditation that you use, and it can be in Urdu, it can be in Swahili, it can be in Chinese, it could be in whatever. I'll show you. You bend forward with your hands on your hips, on your thighs, and you bend backwards, breathing in, and you say, peace in everything. everything with peace as you breathe out. Peace in everything, everything with peace as you breathe out. That's it. Peace in everything, everything with peace. And when people do this 10 times, their mind is so much calmer. Their breathing is so much calmer. It is a stress reliever. It is a inspiration cue. It is so much that offers a person relaxation. It offers us a chance to maybe even listen to Allah's inspiration. And then what do we get? We get to have so much more enthusiasm, because that word means from the God within. Because where is not Allah? Allah is everywhere. And when we treat everywhere as Allah, we treat it with great respect and love. We would never have a Palestine problem right now. We would never have a problem in Yemen. We would never have a problem in the Russia and the Ukraine. We would never have a problem anywhere in the world when we do this simple little thing, because it forces us to attract peace. It forces us to chill out. So when somebody cuts you off on the freeway, touch your heart real quickly, you could say, bless it, instead of damn it. Because if you say damn it, that's not nice. And that only makes the person more angry if they could hear you. So we always bless things. That's what I learned that from my grandfather. He was a carpenter. He may sometimes not pay attention, and he may hit his thumb, and he would say, bless it. Or he would drop something, bless it. He's got to pick it up and fix it. But, beautiful things happen when we use the right words, when we use the grace instead of the damnation. So that's prompted a few points that you can talk about, eh?
Wonderful. And I take this opportunity to take the name of Kashmir also, where they are seeking peace for many, many years. They are
Oh,
seeking peace there many, many years.
when I
And
was
people are
in when I was in India, living in India in the 70s and
suffering.
80s, uh, Kashmir was still having trouble. It's horrible. And why isn't it just an independent country even?
True.
I mean, that would solve the issue. Let it be a small country. It is so beautiful and so, I mean, I've yet to be there, but
Okay.
inshallah, you know,
Inshallah.
uh, yeah,
It is beautiful, very beautiful.
yeah, yeah. The lake and everything and the Himalayas and oh my goodness. Do you pronounce it Himalayas or Himalayas?
Himalayas, Himalayas. We
Yeah.
in Pakistan pronounce it, but in English, people call it Himalayas. So it's different accents. The
Yes,
meaning
yes,
is the same. They are beautiful mountains.
yes, yes.
So, talking about peace, and you have explained it very well. So why we are failed to prevail this and maintain peace, despite the fact that peace is closer to human nature,
It
liking
is.
than chaos. Human don't like chaos. Human like peace. It is close to his nature. So why are we failing to prevail that peace?
We don't look at nature and take it as our guide. Should we look at nature? Nature thrives by helping each other. Every little thing in your gut, your microbiome in your intestinal tract, if it is not working well, those little microbiomes working together, you don't assimilate your food. You don't get your food into your body to be used by your body. It will just go out the other end. But when your microbiome is thriving, you're healthier. When we do the same thing with Mother Earth and we let it be fertilized with real compost instead of this so-called fertilizer, this stuff with chemicals and everything else in it, we get back to the way nature works, and we will thrive like never before. We can save the planet from pollution and the horrible global warming. Right now, in the Great Plains in America, is 135-degree temperature on the soil. 135-degree temperature on the soil. That's global warming. It
You're talking
never was that.
Fahrenheit, right? Fahrenheit.
When you, yes, that's Fahrenheit. See, I don't know the Celsius, excuse me. It's been a long time since I used it.
Okay.
Uh, but the thing is, that's way off the charts. You put a temperature thermometer on the soil of organically grown areas that have been that way at least 10 years, and you check the soil temperature, it's 20 degrees or more down at least. At least. So using the biology rather than the chemistry, like CO2 is causing all this global warming, but we can change that back into really normal using the biology effect. Biology is so, so powerful. Mother Earth is extremely powerful. Otherwise, the Kogi prophecy will prevail. Pakistan has already been hit by horrible flooding, both on the coast and elsewhere, and all kinds of other disasters because of global warming. You're not the complete cause of it. Everybody is the cause of it. Every household, when we lessen the amount of things that we use, I can send you a link, and you should get this out to all your audience, to a free book that you can get that will show people what kids can do and get excited about in helping solve that problem very easily by helping around the home and pointing out things. There's so much I have to offer. People get to be able to connect with me at any time through the Peacemakers circles at gmail.com. And you have blessed me with the ability to be able to share what it is that can work. Look up a man named uh, Zach Bush and see his most recent program on Gaia, or see any of his work. I can send you a special link to 3 different programs that he's done that are outstanding. 5 minutes of listening to him in 2.5 hour program that was done will blow your socks off, will amaze you at what we can do and is being done. Most people don't know a lot of good things are being done. Rehan Allahwala sponsors people to do these kinds of exposés to get the good word out. And he's a great soul. I look forward to being able to give him a big hug sometime when I get invited over to Pakistan. I have yet to get to Pakistan, and I know so much about it.
So I'm inviting you to come here and be our guest.
Thank you. I just need to be funded. That's the only way I can travel. When I'm
Okay.
funded, because I'm a simple teacher. I'll give you an example about teachers, how paid they are. They
Okay.
make doctors, right? They make lawyers. They make all these people of all the professions. And yet the pay of teachers is horrible. When I started teaching in 1969, within 3 years, I could take my wife from America, fly to Europe, spend 3 months touring 13 different countries in a brand new BMW, staying at little pensions and places that we stayed at and having an incredible time, shipping it back and moving into a house when we got back within the year. I could not do that at the end of my career of teaching 45 years in the ghettos of Los Angeles, both at the university and at the college and the high school and middle schools. It's insanity. We fund all the military as much as they want.
Mm.
It's insanity. We fund killers. We train people to kill instead of serve people. We train people to kill instead or spy on people instead of to be able to make peace on earth. Instead of to learn how to bring trust. There's a character development program
Okay.
that within 2 years of its implementation has over 90% reduction in violence at a refugee camp, which is
Wow.
noted for violence. The woman went down to Johannesburg, where my wife is from.
Yeah.
She designed a program for street people, similar kinds of results. Imagine the poor people in Islamabad or any of the cities. They're begging for paisa. I don't know what the it's not paisa uh,
Pakistani rupees.
yeah, yeah. Well, what's the smaller? Because paisa is like
Yep.
pennies for us.
Yeah. Pesa is also here, the
Acha, acha.
smallest current
Yeah, yeah.
currency.
Yeah, and Paisa doesn't buy you anything anymore, right?
No.
Yeah. At any rate, people are begging for things, and we won't have to have any beggars because people will honor what Allah said. He said the golden rule. He said, treat others the way you want to be treated. Nobody
Absolutely.
would nobody would be killing people. Nobody would be starving.
True.
Everybody would be housed. Simply following one rule. We don't have to have the 10 commandments. We don't have to have any other. That, if that's the commandment, so be it. Thank you.
Wonderful. You're talking about global warming, and I take that opportunity to highlight that Pakistan is not contributing in the top of the list of global
Not even
warming, but
close. Huh.
Pakistan is on the top of the list who are affected by global warming.
That's right. Totally true. Totally.
Yeah,
America is the worst. And America causes most of the wars. We have all these military bases all over the world. We should get rid of them. We're the people who are the warmongers. We've been in Vietnam, proven to be a wrong thing to do, and we were lied to, just like we were lied to going into Iraq, and so on and so forth. And look at what we did to Pakistan. I mean, Afghanistan, your neighbor. Holy cow! It's insanity. And the Russians got beat there, and we got beat there. Why? Because it's wrong to fight war. It's wrong to invade a country. It's wrong to kill people.
absolutely. You cannot occupy a single inch of land which does not belong to you, I guess. You are not allowed to do that.
Yeah. Well, there's no land that belongs to anybody, really speaking. It's all God's land. And when we treat everybody with respect and love, I have people living in my house. I've had homeless people living in my house. I brought them in off the street.
Wonderful.
What we have to do again is treat others with respect and love.
Definitely. Talking about global warming, how what are the best ways or effective ways to teach our young generation who are going to, uh, uh, um lead lead this cause or lead countries in the future. So, what's the best way to teach them about global warming, about taking measures about it?
Well, I'll tell you, the Green Actioneers, uh, oops, I got to spell this right. I'm looking it up. The Green Actioneers was written up by a man that put it into English and Spanish. It's not in Urdu yet, but you guys can translate it. His name is Dave Finnegan, Finnigan. You can look up Green Actioneers and Dave Finnegan, and you'll be able to get something from him uh, and allow anybody to be able to take advantage of it. It's all geared toward elementary schools, which means, let's say, 5 years old on up to about 15-year-olds, and how they can take action in the home and do simple things and get honored for it and get all kinds of rewards for it, as well as helping the environment tremendously. Because as it says, 70% of global warming is caused in the homes.
Wonderful. Everybody,
And,
please look into this link who Kurt has been referring to and see what you can learn and what I can learn from it.
I can put more links in there if everybody gets to see them. I'm not sure if, because I don't use StreamYard at all, hardly, except on Rehan's platform. I'm usually on Zoom calls. That's my primary platform that I work with. And
Okay.
you can get Zoom free for 40 minutes or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can, but we use StreamYard for the interview purposes.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah,
You stick with your platform.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to put that link you have given to me here.
And your country is said to be a democracy, and there's a something that if you look up on AI, you can look up ranked choice voting, and you'll find an amazing way to be able to get even a more refined democracy.
You're very right. Yes,
Yeah, and there's so much that we can do on this planet that will make it so that people begin to thrive rather than barely survive.
true, absolutely.
Yeah, I just put something else in regard to joining the peacemaker circles, because what we do is we train people to become peacemakers. And obviously, the very first person who has to be the peacemaker is the person who wants to spread the peace. Because if you get upset, well,
Of course,
how can we spread peace if we get upset? And
true.
I'll give you an example of how powerful this particular meditation is that I mentioned to you earlier.
Please.
I've been on hijacked airplanes. I've taken away guns and knives from students. I've had knives swung at me and so on. Uh, I was at a mass shooting at a high school a few years ago, and just about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I was interviewed like by a judge. It's called a deposition, and it was going to be a 3-hour interview. And in the first hour, I was reliving this whole incident, and for some reason, I got totally out of it. I started to hyperventilate. I said, I got to stop. Give me 5 minutes. And I did peace in everything, everything with peace. For 5 minutes, peace in everything, everything with peace. After that 5 minutes, I did 2 hours more of the deposition. No
Okay.
more problem after that. It's a powerful practice. So use it. If you meditate in other forms, try this one. It gets you deep and it also has great results. And the idea of predominant mental impression is that the more we think about something, the more it attracts those things. When we started the Peace Lab, it was a production company that was producing programs for this big platform called Humanity Rising. And we suddenly had people emailing us to say, look, I'm an expert in this. I'm an expert in how to use music to bring peace. I'm an expert in how to use this to bring peace, how to use tapping or EMT to bring peace. So we had a whole week program that we gave, hour and a half per day, and people would stay to what's called the after chat. So there's another link that's given during that program to where you can actually talk with the presenters. So all the people, I love it when we can talk together. instead of just you and I. Can you imagine all your readers or listeners, I should say, they would love to be able to ask a question or maybe say, look, have you heard about this? And I think, oh, I haven't heard that. Let's do that. Like I turn you on to this ranked choice voting, or I may have turned you on to some other thing. Well, she can turn or he can turn. And so we use this mastermind circle, which we use in our master heart circles, because the mastermind has to be blended with the master heart. And then we bring everything to life. And the focus is so much more sublime. And the results are so much better and more rapid. It's like knowing about Zach Bush's information to green the planet faster, regenerative agriculture, to stop having more prisons. Well, that's called restorative justice. And we prevent people from going to prisons by using character education and so on and so forth. We're all about prevention of problems and solutions of problems. Without both, what good is it? We'll still have problems, but we do prevention and solutions.
Wonderful. So nice to hear these type of things. It really calms you mentally and give you piece of satisfaction.
Yeah.
Can I ask you to, reset your camera angle a little bit? It gets a little up. Yeah,
Is
now
that better?
yeah,
Well,
it
I
is
can
good.
always go forward and then I'm big.
Yeah, won't you, come
I
a
don't want
good,
to scare people.
wonderful. So one question that really hit me to ask you that how we may in our country be a peacemaker, and can someone earn money by being a peacemaker or UN peacemaker?
That's a good question. When we get our society to pay teachers better, what they
Yeah,
should be paid, when we look at what we want in our society and focus on that, we want peace, love, and happiness, helpfulness, kindness, all that good stuff. We want that. Let's stimulate people who do that, like nurses, like doctors, like people who are uplifting humanity, like people, psychologists. We won't need many psychologists when we get people to be able to know how to be with each other. When I say be with each other, it's by being that spirit of God that is in us, by opening to that, by opening to what Allah gifted us. He did not gift us anger. We did that. We accepted that. From whom? Oh, some people will say the devil. The devil made me do it. I got upset, so I hit. The only time I hit people is when they hit me. One boy in high school talked about my mother, and he was not saying anything like my mother. He was not describing my mother at all, the opposite. And I just started to laugh at him because he was really stupid. He didn't even know my mother, and he hit me. Well,
okay.
that's a mistake. I knocked him down, sat on his chest, and bounced his head off the ground. It broke his head open. They had to take me off him. It took a couple people to get me off him because I was angry. And they brought him to the hospital, which was right next door to the school, thank God. So he lived.
Thank
I had to pay his doctor bills. My parents did first, but I had to pay them back. But the thing is, we don't have to get to that situation. We prevent it by saying, excuse me, you're not talking about my mother. You're actually saying something that's incorrect. Now he's trying to get me to fight. But when I disarm him, like when the boy approached me and outside of my classroom, I failed him in a class. So he's not going to graduate from high school. And I'm standing outside my classroom and it's passing period. So kids are going to their next class. Well, he walks at me and he's about 5 feet from me and he pulls out a gun. And I looked at him and I said, "Give me the gun." No fear, just the force. I couldn't say it like I did then, but for some reason, he gave me the gun. I did my Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that was in 1985. Like, I think it was before Star Wars even came out.
Okay.
Why did he do that? I think that he was so shocked that I didn't show any fear. He didn't know what to do, so he gave me the gun. And
Okay.
so I phoned the security guy, and they came and took him away and the gun away, and I went back in my class and taught. Teachers who saw that just down across this hall or down the hall, they saw that. They were so stressed out. Some of them went into the lounge and let their class go wherever they're going to go, but they had to go chill out.
Okay.
Went in my class and I taught. I started teaching stress management from that, and I ended up giving a program at Oxford Medical School, at the United Nations. I mean, I've been all over the world doing that kind of thing. So we got to be peaceful, and we get to change our society's focus and what we value, because what we value shows up. We value putting people in prison, because I get a lot of money for being a prison guard. Prison guards in America get paid more than teachers. Imagine that. And what do? They beat people in prison. Why? Because they may not listen right away. If you don't listen right away, boing. And if they do listen, they may hit them anyway. It's not a nice place.
True.
So
But it's very hard.
I don't worry about making money because Allah's always taking care of me. Sometimes by the skin of my teeth, but I've always been taken care of. I've had a fire come up onto my property, a wildfire, and it stopped.
Wow.
Why? Well,
Why?
the winds changed. Oh, thank you, Allah. How did that happen? When we create love, light surrounds us and protects us. I've been in some of the worst places in the world. Hijacked airplanes pretty bad. And I got off first. And I got into the deepest state of meditation I'd ever been in on the hijacked airplane. How does that happen? Happens from practice. You got to practice meditation. You got to practice being kind. The more kind you are, the more kindness comes back. Look at what Rehan Allahwala is doing. He's being kind to people and things are coming back. Of course, he's a rich man, but he's using his riches. And that's the biggest thing that we can do. Imagine that these billionaires like Musk and all these guys, they could give 90% of their money away and still be billionaires.
True.
So if they did, that's what's called reverse tithing. I did reverse tithing when I was teaching at one time. I still
Okay.
was able to live, even on a meager teacher's salary. It depends on how you live. If you live like having, I got this thing and I got that thing and I want, oh, I got to have a Tesla, you know. I don't need a Tesla. I
The
need,
basic ends should met.
yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. I think I've
So
taken a lot of your time, haven't I?
no problem. I'm all free. If you are you have any commitment, then we can call it off. Well, otherwise, I'm totally free for you for next 10-20 minutes if you are free or if you are available.
Well, actually, I should go eat some food. If you want to talk later, I can do that because I do need to get in some food in this body. Uh,
Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much, Kurt, for your wonderful time, for wonderful knowledge, the pearls of wisdom you have shared to me and to my audience. I really thank you for that.
Well, thank you for being who you are, and I'll send that information about Zachary Bush, or Zach Bush, I should say, not Zachary, to you later.
Definitely.
Okay.
I'll go through that. Thank you so much, Kurt. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being here in Empowering Minds and
I will
empower
give
our minds.
I will give you the peace salute. A peacemaker sees the world as love. Everything Allah created is love. And when we see it as love, we say, Zoom peace, and we throw the love out to the world. And
Wonderful.
it brings peace. It's the most powerful thing is peace. Love is the only thing that can create peace. So love is even more powerful than peace. It's the end result of peace. May
Definitely. Thank you
peace be
so much.
upon you.
Same to you. Peace be upon you too, Kurt.
Bye bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you watched Kurt talking wonderfully in last 36 minutes. So, I'll see you next time, next guest in Empowering Minds. Keep doing amazing things. Have a great night. Bye bye.
Bye bye.